Hi there, Dr. Bill Crawford here, psychologist, speaker, author of 7 books, host of 2 PBS specials. Here again to help you use my Life from the Top of the Mind system to help you create the life you want. Today I want to look at the topic of what's really influencing us, what is really running our life. It comes from a quote that I found on Pinterest by Oxton Bolt. He says, "Beliefs aren't just something that our mind possesses. Beliefs are something that possess our mind." I think that's important for those of us who want to have more influence over how we think, how we feel, how we create life. Because if beliefs are that powerful, if what we believe to be true, how we perceive something, how we interpret something, what do we expect, if that is influencing our experience of life, we want to make sure we are influencing the beliefs. Now, a lot of people say, well, yeah, I believe certain things and I've chosen those and those are great. And I'm not here to change your beliefs or to tell you your beliefs are wrong. But I want to show you the brain science behind beliefs so you can determine whether all of your beliefs are serving you, whether you want to change some of them, whether you would teach them to someone you love. So, using my Life from the Top of the Mind system, we look at how the brain processes information. There's the lower brain called the brainstem. That's the reactive brain. That's where our fight or flight responses come from. There's the upper brain, the neocortex, what I call the top of the mind. That's where we have access to our interpersonal skills, problem-solving skills, clarity, confidence, creativity, compassion. That's the purposeful part of the brain. In the middle is the limbic system. And this is the part of the brain that acts as a scanner, a processor, and a router. It scans incoming data or thoughts or interprets feelings in such a way that it routes that back down to the brainstem or up to the neocortex. And our beliefs, what we believe to be true, kind of lie within that middle brain. And this middle brain is unconscious. We're not always aware of how our beliefs are influencing our experience of life. I mean, we may have a certain belief about people in politics. What do you think about Republicans? What do you think about Democrats? We'll almost always have, well, they are blah. And that may be chosen on purpose, and you may be perfectly comfortable with that. And that belief may have been framed and kind of created by what we've been fed. There's another quote out there that says, "The mind will always believe what we tell it." Let's make sure we are telling it things that really serve us, that really help us create the life we want. So we want to look at how this limbic system, this middle part of the brain, interprets life, because initially its job was to keep us safe in the jungle, in fight or flight situations. So it had a tendency to scan the environment for signs of danger. It's still doing that even though we're no longer in all these fight or flight situations. I think probably very few of the situations we find ourselves in really call for a fight or a flight response. And yet, the limbic system is looking for them and triggering this fight or flight part of the brain. That's where we get angry. That's where we get confused. That's where we get resentful. That's where we get depressed or worried or annoyed or just confused. And that's because this part of the brain is only designed to do 2 things when it is engaged. Now, when it's not engaged, it regulates blood pressure, muscle tension, heart rate in ways that we don't have to think about. It's wonderful. But when it gets engaged, it triggers adrenaline, noradrenaline, and cortisol. Cortisol is the big one. It rushes throughout our body, shutting down our immune system. Makes us more susceptible to illness. Shutting down our digestive system. That's where ulcers come from. Shutting down our production of protein, which is what the brain functions on, and increasing our production of glucose. Because in a fight or flight situation, glucose is where we get our energy. But because we're rarely in a fight or flight situation, when that brainstem gets engaged, we're just sitting there producing more and more cortisol and glucose and cortisol and glucose. And it messes with our health. It messes with our heart. Now, I don't want you to worry about that as a way of changing, because that triggers the brainstem again. I just want you to know the process of how this is happening so you can influence it, so you can have more influence over your experience of life, the kind of chemicals you're dumping into your body. Because when we're able to engage the neocortex, what I call the top of the mind, we trigger serotonin and endorphins and dopamine, all the chemicals that help us feel better and think clearer. So what if we looked at the beliefs that are either sending that data down to the brainstem or up to the neocortex? What if we chose to change the ones that are sending it down to the brainstem and maximize them to the point where they are starting to just send it to the neocortex as a matter of habit. That starts to become our new habit. We start living in this upper 80% of the brain. In my seminars, I teach people how to do that. I have a behavioral model you can do anywhere, anytime, that will actually allow you to shift from the brainstem to the neocortex, change the chemical makeup of your body. Then I have another model about how to stay there. And then I have a third model about how to deal with other people who are in that resistant brain. How do you talk to them in such a way where they shift from their resistant brain to their receptive brain so they truly hear and understand what you're wanting them to know? If you would like to know how to do all this, you can go to Amazon, get my book. You can go to my website, get my book. You can have me come and present to your organization, your church, your school, your group. I love to do that. It's what I love to do. So go to the website, billcrawfordphd.com. Hit the contact button. Let me know what you're interested in. And I would love to help you learn how to become more influential in the beliefs that are truly running our life. In the meantime, if you like these videos, please hit the like button. Share them with your friends if you think it would be valuable. Help us get the word out. This is all about helping as many people as possible. And I do one of these each week. So tune in next week. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter. I'm happy to be a part of your life if you find these valuable. In the meantime, here's to you, bringing more clarity, confidence, creativity to everything you do. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.